All right, we have here today on the Moms Without Capes podcast, Jammie Baker. Welcome to the show, Jammie.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Jammie is a wife, mom, and former Hollywood stylist who knows that style isn't just about what you wear, it's about how you live your life. 5 years ago, she left the red carpet lifestyle behind to create a virtual styling business that empowers real women to discover their unique style. With her signature programs, Jammie helps women go from waiting to becoming in their mindset, in their closets, and in their lives. She believes that style has power and women should feel empowered to own it. In today's episode of the Moms Without Capes podcast, Jammie will be sharing how we can practice self-care and build our confidence by leaning into our personal sense of style. So let's before we dive in there, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. For my personal for my personal interest, I actually have it on my vision board for 2023, a big green high heel because
Oh,
I am so not stylish. And this is something that I was like, I want to find my style this year. So
yes.
super excited to have you on the show just to pick your brain. And I know that there's other women out there that would love to update their style and really lean into and find their style, really. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to have you today. But before we dive into all of that, I want to hear more about your story and what brought you here to be where you are today.
Oh my goodness. I started as a Hollywood stylist after a divorce. I was 30 years old and decided, okay, I'm just going to start over in life. When I graduated high school, there was no stylist job. So I went into just working so many different fields. And when I went through that divorce at that age, and where most women were starting families, white picket fence and their 2.5 kids and all of that, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm starting over from scratch. So I moved back to Los Angeles, where I am originally from, and I decided to spend all of my savings on going to school for styling. And so I worked at Nordstrom as a stylist while going to school, and then working nights and weekends, being an assistant on different jobs, and then an intern assistant, things like that. And it wasn't really filling my cup. It was great. It looks great on the resume. I worked with some really big names during some really exciting times, like Kerry Washington during, the height of Scandal. That was really cool. But day in and day out, it just wasn't for me. It did not give me any kind of reward to see my name on in print, or, at
In
the
the
end of
credits.
a movie. Yeah, the credits. There you go. Thank you. The word was leaving my brain. And so I asked a friend of mine if I could style her personally, because I wanted to see if that was the avenue I should go down. And she said yes. And I was really nervous because she was an executive at Disney at the time. And I set it all up and thought, okay, this is it. This is a make it or break it. Maybe if this doesn't work, style isn't for me. And so I was putting her in outfits. We edited her closet. She had things from high school. And we're talking about a 30-something woman who's amazing, but she was holding on to these things from her past. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to not sugarcoat it. I'm just going to tell her these need to go. This stuff needs to come in, and see what she thinks. And she starts putting on the outfits and looks in the mirror and starts to cry. And she said, can I take a picture of myself? And I was like, yeah, of course. She said, I always wanted to look this way and didn't know I could. And
Mhm.
that's when I just knew the personal route was for me, not the celebrity, not working as,
Yeah.
the help, just to help them make more money. I wanted to work with a woman that has an impact, and where style impacts the impact she's making on others. And so I began that journey, moved to Nashville, and I was like, well, maybe I'll do a little bit of country music styling, like down to earth. I wanted to find a church, find a husband, and work in country music. That was the plan. That was my 5-year plan, hoping at that time I was like 34. So I was like, let's make that like a 1-year plan. And so I moved to Nashville and found a husband in Virginia, not in Nashville. Worked in country music for a hot second and realized they are more diva than Hollywood, because it's not quite Hollywood, but they want to act like it's Hollywood. So it's worse.
I
And
just picture like cowboy boots and like bedazzle.
yeah, that's where that has to
Like
come
lots
from.
of
Like, let's
rhinestones.
go over the top because we need to prove ourselves.
I'm picturing the rhinestone cowgirl.
Yeah, it's a thing. Um, so I ended up following my husband to Richmond, Virginia, and we got married and I had a baby and I went to put on my low-rise pants and I thought, what in the world is going on? I've never had a squishy belly before. I I don't know what to do with this body. And I thought if I'm having a hard time navigating getting dressed as a professional stylist after a baby, how are other moms who aren't stylists navigating this? And I found out
Right,
they weren't. They were
right.
throwing on leggings, they were throwing on big t-shirts and putting their hair up in a top knot, and they were riding that hot mess express and they were holding on to that like trauma bonding with other moms, like,
Yeah.
get rid of the hot mess. And I took it upon myself to be my own client and figure out a method to styling a postpartum mom. And then to also break through the barriers of that hot mess mom life, that was okay and that was acceptable and that's how you should live motherhood. And I created a business all around that.
I love that. I love that story. One, I am embarrassed to admit that I have things from my high school and I'm in my 40s.
You're not alone. I mean,
But
I wouldn't
I
have a
was,
job if that wasn't the case, right?
yeah, like I think of like I had these shoes. I finally did get rid of them, but I had these shoes that I was so proud of because I was like, I've had these shoes since high school. Like I still felt like I sported them.
Did you ever wear them post
Not
high
anymore. I
school?
finally got rid of them, but recently, very recently. But yeah,
Good for you.
I've got some jackets. I've got some things that I can think of right now, like in my closet that I have had for a really long time. And I can totally see when you just shared about that story about the woman, the executive, and how she cried when she looked in the mirror because so often like myself, but I also ask like clients like, well, how do you picture yourself? Like, let's put a target. Like, who do you want to be? And they'll like fashion often comes up. Like, I want to be like this fashionable, classy, like woman. And we feel so far from that. Like, we kind of go to what's comfortable.
Mhm.
And I've done like style quizzes. Like, I'm like, I admire things. Like, I look on Pinterest or like my sister-in-law, she had did Stitch Fix for a while. And I'm always like, those are the cutest clothes. And she's always saying, like, well, it's stuff that she would never pick out, but like that they kind of pick out for her. And I
Mhm.
always admire, I'm like, I am gonna do that one day because I feel I don't have the confidence to pick out my own style. Like I don't even know what style I want to go for. Mine is such a mishmash.
Yeah, that's normal though. I would challenge you to let go of those clothes because what happens when you put comfort, I take comfort off the table, right? We all want to be comfortable as far as in our clothing and not like clothes that are too tight or restricting or that you can't move your arms around. But comfort as at the forefront
Mhm.
typically holds us back in anything, right? In any kind of momentum to move forward. And that is definitely the case in style. I think that if you would just take out the clothing from your closet that does not serve you, fit you, or take you forward to the woman you want to become, you would probably take out such a heavy load that you didn't even
Oh
realize you were
yeah.
carrying.
Yes.
And it would give you momentum to go forward.
Right, because I'd probably be left with like three things.
Yeah, and you would curse my name because that always happens. But then you would realize quickly, like, okay, I wasn't wearing those anyway.
Hmm.
That's what always
It's
happens. They
true.
always curse my name, all clients. I'm like, you're going to get mad at me. You're going to look at your closet and say, I have nothing to wear. But if you're honest with yourself, you weren't wearing the other things that you got rid of anyway.
I wasn't. Yeah, those are the things like I would try on and then take off. Like
Yeah.
just like to remind me, like, okay, that is why I don't wear that. But you're
Mhm.
right. Like, why do I keep those
Then it
things?
goes back in just in case
Just in case.
a
Yeah.
laundry list of things, right?
Yes.
Whether it's has to do with weight or event or weather
Mhm.
or I don't know, the rest of your clothes burn in a fire. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
that laundry list is just so long for most women of
Yeah.
why they hold on to those pieces.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about style as a way to take care of yourself. Like how tell us more about like how style plays such a huge role in that self-care.
You mentioned that in some of this, I'm guessing like personal development work, that style always comes up in that. And I think that style, well, not only do I think, but I know it's scientifically backed that style has a lot of power. It holds a lot of power and it can prime our brain one way or the other. So when you look down and you're like, oh, I hate what I have on, I feel frumpy, whatever feelings it brings to the forefront, that's how you're feeling about yourself. So you can control the narrative. You can control how you're perceived by yourself and by others. So by changing the way that you dress into a way that shows a story, that tells a story of the woman you are and want to be, you can prime your own brain and that of others as well, and tell yourself a story. So I think that's a really great part of self-care is, okay, if I have these goals I set for myself, I have this, 1 year plan, 5 year plan of these are the things I want to accomplish. This is how I want to show up every day. And then you can kind of reverse engineer, well, how would I show up as that person? Okay, what would she wear? What would she be doing? And then you would need to figure out, okay, I need to build a closet of clothes that actually shows that I'm that person, makes me feel like I'm that person, and then is also conducive to what I'm actually doing, right? So often women open their closet that is obviously has clothes in it, right? I don't think we ever open our closet and say we have nothing to wear and there's literally nothing in there. That's never the case. But what does happen is your closet didn't evolve with you. So I think that that is a way that we have neglected ourselves as moms, especially as we have not changed out our closet as we've changed our lives. So as our bodies have changed, we have settled for things that don't feel good on us, that don't look good on us, that work out of convenience because you go to Target, you grab the toothpaste, you grab the toilet paper and the clearance t-shirt that you need because you have a party to go to on Saturday with your kids and you have nothing to wear, right?
Right.
So we settle for not taking care of who we are in the name usually of motherhood, right?
Mhm.
And we become a martyr to that, and our clothes becomes this really emotionally filled discussion we have in our head of like, we're not worthy because we have young kids, or we're not worthy because we're not where we want to be, or we're not worthy because that's too vain. And we tell ourselves this story and we shame ourselves into just not taking care of ourselves by putting clothes on that feel good.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's as simple as putting on an outfit that feels good. It's the difference in a pair of pants that fits you and spending 365 mornings squeezing into a pair of pants only to give up because you should have lost the weight, or you should have bought a new pair,
Yeah.
you should have, coulda, woulda. And so then you put on the leggings.
Yeah.
And there's so much shame and negative self-talk when we don't take care of ourselves and put clothes on our body that fit.
Yeah. I agree with 100% of what you just said. And I'm thinking like that evolving your closet as you evolve as a mother, or like not even as a mother, like outside of your role as a mother.
Yeah,
But like we are all different people than we were in our 20s and in our 30s. Like
100%.
as we go through, like as we become more confident in ourselves, or more like just evolved as a person, developed, we should certainly be, our clothes should reflect that, our sense of style. Because yeah, the fact that
Yeah.
I'm wearing things
Because if
like
they,
that were worn back then is clearly not in alignment with who I am currently.
yeah, if you open your closet and say, I have nothing to wear, I want you to ask yourself, do I have nothing to wear, or do I have nothing that reflects who I am today?
Yeah.
Because so often it's just that, oh, I have corporate, pencil skirts and high heels and blazers and shells, but I spend my day in the playgrounds or at football games with my kids or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
But those clothes don't work because you never transitioned your closet with your life, with your body. And we have to get dressed every single day. So
Right. Right.
why
It's
do we
something that we
neglect
know is
that?
going to happen.
Yes.
It's
And we
predictable.
neglect it. It's like, oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And pretty soon your youngest child is 5 years old and you're wearing a nursing bra and they haven't nursed in 4 years and you've
Right.
never bought new underwear and your pants feel very uncomfortable, but you put on your good jeans when you have to go somewhere and like suffer for it
Right.
because you never
Right.
changed that out for yourself.
Right. Right. Yeah, it makes so much sense. So, what are some ways that we can build our confidence as moms, or even outside of our mom hat, and update our closet? Like you mentioned, pulling everything out, right?
Mhm.
Did I hear
Yes.
that? Like I felt like Marie Kondo, like pull everything out. See if it brings you joy, right?
Kind of. I get her concept, but no, like bras don't really bring me joy by anything.
Right. But they're
So yeah,
necessary.
they're necessary. They should be, working for the size that you are now. But not nursing bras 5 years post nursing, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But definitely I believe in a good closet edit. Take it all out. If you already know you don't like it and it doesn't fit, don't try it on. It just needs to go. Just let go of
Okay.
it. And then the rest of it, just try it on. How does it make you feel? There's a whole method I have to styling yourself where you do a lot of self-discovery. Mindset is the first thing I work with when it comes to style. And there's a lot of deep inner work that comes with it. But I also believe in momentum. Motivation just doesn't come around very often, right? So
Right.
we have to gain
Right.
some momentum to get us in the mood. So I would say whether it's an outfit where you shop your closet or you go buy a new one, if you have nothing that like really fits. And when I say fit, not just your body, you could have gained or lost weight and not bought new clothes, but also is it fit who you are as a person and where you are
Okay.
in life? And
Mhm.
buy a full outfit, a pair of jeans that fit and feel good and make your butt look
I'm
right.
guilty of not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, and then I get home and I'm like, well, what do I even wear this with? And then I don't even wear that piece because I don't have
Because you
any
didn't buy
shoes
an
to go
outfit.
with it.
Yes, it's because you didn't buy an outfit. Buy
Yes.
the whole outfit. Buy a shirt. I have on, I'm just gonna stand. Like the most simple outfit is just a
Mhm.
high-rise pair of jeans and this shirt. Let me just show you one simple trick, okay? Because this is something you can do. So this shirt has no shape. It's from one of my favorite brands called Love the People, but it's meant for like men or women. So you can see there's no
Okay.
shape here whatsoever. So if I were to look in the mirror and I have this just like pulled out and it's just straight down, this is not flattering. But just taking the time to simply tuck in the shirt and show your waist, it completely changes the entire
Yeah,
outfit.
the look of it.
So
Yeah.
if I just had the shirt and didn't have any pants that went with it, that wouldn't make me feel good. But if you have a pair of pants and then you bring in your waist, that's the number one styling tip for no matter your size, your body shape, bring in your natural waist, which you can find by, we used to stand like this for pictures
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Stand like this, find where your waist bends. That's your natural waist. See where my jeans
Yeah.
hit my actual natural waist. That's the most flattering part of your body. So if you can buy one outfit, and I'm talking one accessory, a shirt, pants, and shoes, like the whole thing. And then if it's cold
The whole
outside,
shebang.
add a layer.
Mhm.
And when you have one outfit, I want you to journal. Like this is don't wear the good outfit. Wear whatever you would wear on a normal day. Journal how you felt that day. And then I want you to wear the good outfit. And I want you to journal how you felt that day. And it's going to include compliments because you're going to walk around with a smile on your face. They're not going to be able to pinpoint like that your outfit maybe is like the best thing they've ever seen, but they're going to know you look good and you look confident and you
Like
look happy.
it's like
That
extending from you.
energy, yeah,
Yeah.
it exudes from you because you are encompassing the woman that you know you want to be. And style plays a really big part in that. And I would bet 100% of women would have a completely different day in an outfit that they loved
Yeah.
versus an outfit that they just didn't love. It's just simple as that. It doesn't
Right.
have to be an outfit they hate, but an outfit that
Right.
they settle for because we don't have time to settle for clothes that don't feel good on our body.
Right. Right. And you times that by 365. Like if you create a closet that reflects who you are, that fits you as a person and fits you as the body you are, like take those together. I mean, I could see like 365 days, your life is transformed,
Yes,
which is
that's a
like the
lot of days.
goal, right?
Yes. Yeah. Talk about confidence boosting 365 days of showing up and 365 days of settling.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
brainer. You're going to be way up here.
Yeah. You've completely inspired me. I'm like ready to go home.
Yay.
So, how
It's
do we
work. It is work. It does take some intention.
Yeah. So let's talk about different body types because when you
Okay.
said about your natural waist, right? Like I almost like cringed on the inside because I was like, oh no, like because there's so many different body types, right? So what are your suggestions on how to like embrace our individual body types. Like when we're looking at style, the mannequins, like at the store and like things like that, right? And we're faced with these. I see some stores are replacing like the thinner mannequins with like mannequins that reflect more of like the average person, or like they're, I mean, if that's even a thing, but like more fuller body, like doing different body
That's
types,
good.
which is amazing. But how do we as women embrace our own body type to be able to dress in a style that we feel is fitting for us?
I think that the biggest thing, I always go back to mindset, and I know it's not the sexiest thing. It's not what
Mhm.
everybody wants to hear. Like, oh, I gotta change my mindset first. Just give me something to do. You have to change your mind into deciding that you're going to get dressed to be seen, whether that's by yourself first or by the public or whatever that looks like for you. You are willing to be seen and you're done hiding. So when you decide that I am worthy today and I am ready to be seen, then you can get dressed from a completely different mindset that changes the need to compare any body type. So
Okay.
there are 5 basic body types, and we're also unique, right? We're all just, there's no like one straight up and down one
Right.
proportion. But essentially there are 5 to go by, and I have a free guide that I can give your all of your listeners.
Okay,
It'll
that'd be
give you
awesome. Yeah.
the perfect, like, not perfect, there's no such thing as perfect, the ideal outfit formula for your body shape. And
Okay.
it does not matter if you're size 2 or size 22. Those shapes stay the same. You pretty much stay the same shape except when pregnant, no matter what, how your weight fluctuates up or down, because your body tends to gain and lose weight in the same areas. So whether you're shrinking or growing, your shape essentially stays the same, like most of the time. Obviously,
Okay.
rules are meant to be broken, right? But the number one tip is to bring in your natural waist. And the biggest pushback I get from women is, well, my belly's not flat.
Right, right,
Yeah. I mean, when I sit down, that's just the anatomy of a woman, right? Like,
right.
and high-waisted pants, they do kind of push on your belly. I'm not as worried about that as I am like, how do they feel when I'm walking around? And like, I don't think anybody's sitting next to me just like staring at my stomach, you know?
Yeah, like I know for myself, like I feel so much more comfortable in the high waisted
Mhm.
versus the low riders. Like I've never been able to wear the low riders. I
Yeah.
feel like hello muffin top. Like
Yes.
it's just not comfortable for me. So I've just made it my thing. Like I'm not going to try them on. Like it's just not. Skinny jeans too. Like I stay away from that because I felt like not comfortable in them. Like no matter, and I know you've mentioned in the very beginning about the comfort thing, but I was like, I look in the mirror, like I just don't see it. And I've seen them cute on
Oh,
other
yeah.
people, like other women can rock them, but it's like that different body type.
They're not
I'm
for
just
every
not.
body type.
And it was even like, even when I had lost a lot of weight and I was like size 6, like I still was not into the skinny jeans. So I was like, it's not, it was just, it didn't fit me. It wasn't my, so yeah, I
Yeah.
do have a style, I suppose.
See, once we start, everyone has a style. I just kind of coach women through finding it, and I make
Yeah.
suggestions. And it's so easy. There's so much noise out there in the world telling you what you should wear and should be.
Mhm.
And we find a lot of external, confidence boosting, I don't know, whether it's in trends or I'm look like this influencer or that influencer.
Right,
If
right.
I only had that shirt, my life would be magical, right?
Mhm.
And so you're looking for this external validation, and it has to start internally first so that you can cut out the noise, decide what you like, and wear that with confidence. Whether it's skinny jeans, I don't love skinny jeans. I don't think that whole trend, it wasn't meant for every body shape. I've always been curvy, so it just wasn't the best for me. It looked like I had these
Right.
painted blue legs on. And so it just looked silly. For someone that's straight up and down, it creates a curve and it looks great. So
Right,
we really have to be able to know ourselves and know our bodies and know what works and what we feel good. And you should absolutely be comfortable, but I think if we put comfort at the forefront, we start sliding back into some,
yeah.
Netflix and
Into the frumpy.
eat the pizza kind of outfit, instead of like crush the goals, let's go get this day.
Yeah, yeah. So what any last advice that you can offer our listeners?
I would say to definitely do the journaling exercise that I mentioned and download the body shape guide. It's a freebie that I offer, and it will help you measure. Do not assume your body shape. Most women postpartum will say, well, now I'm bigger in the middle. And 99% of times, 99% of the time, that is not true.
So we're
So
not all apples when we're
no. I mean, when you're pregnant, yes. Like when you're 9 months pregnant, absolutely.
right.
But that doesn't count as like a body shape. It's temporary. But I think even postpartum, like myself, I was like, oh, I'm squishy here now, and I never was. It didn't mean I was bigger in the middle. I had much
Right.
bigger hips and bust than I do
Right.
middle.
Mm-hmm.
It all grew. So, and it grew in proportion. And so that's the case for most women. So you have to take your measurements. Don't assume anything. Take your measurements and then compare it to that body shape guide, and take my advice for what outfit formula I tell you to put together. I don't care if you buy it at the Goodwill or at Neiman
I was
Marcus.
actually just going to ask that. That was the next question that was in my mind as you were giving this advice, and I was going to say about like, what about like should we aim to get higher, like
Yes, quality.
clothes? Yeah, quality clothes, because
Yes.
does that matter?
It 100% matters. And I
Okay.
would say, like, if you're in a weight loss journey or going through some health issues and you know you're temporarily a size, then I would say, okay, go Target Old Navy all day. I
Mhm.
get it. You're fluctuating, and that's going to change soon. But as we get older, we should really look for quality over quantity. And there's so much that goes into that, from the way the fabric feels on your skin to the way it's cut, how it fits a woman's body versus not meant for, a teenager. A lot of
Yeah.
brands are cut for a teenager if they're cheaper. And then I also have to look at it from an ethical standpoint. Like, how much did they pay that child to make that
Yeah.
$3 shirt?
Right.
So
Right.
why not buy a really great brand from the Goodwill if
Right.
you're
Budget
wanting to go
conscious.
lower
Like,
budget,
yeah.
instead of buying something from Old Navy that you're just
Right.
going to throw away? And that's, again, the environment. Fashion is the
Right.
number 2 environmental pollution company that there is in the world.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
so much pollution caused, so many landfills full of old clothes because we buy the Old Navy tank top and then we
Yeah, it's
stain it and we stretch
discardable.
it and we get a new one because it was
Right.
$7. So who cares? Well, the earth
Right.
cares. It's
Right.
just, and you
Yeah.
should care about how it fits you, not just that it's disposable.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's great. That's great advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna switch gears now. I want to thank you so much for all of that, because I know you've inspired me, and I hope that you
Yay.
inspired all the listeners to rethink their closet and step into their style. But I want to ask you, what do you do for fun?
For fun,
Ask people.
I know moms have a hard time having fun, right?
Yes.
I I would say for me, it's getting outdoors. So hiking is like my favorite. Easy, anything, walking outside, talking, and eating a really good meal with great company, whether it's my husband or friends or my family, whoever it might be. I love a really great meal and a really great hike. If I get to do both of those things in one day,
It's a
I'm happy.
perfect day for you.
Oh yes. Yes.
And then do you have a book that you can recommend?
Okay, I have two that I'm so torn. One goes
You can
along with,
recommend them both. Go for
okay,
it.
The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes
Okay.
is just such an empowering book, but you have to listen to it, not actually like read it in a hard copy of the book. Her voice and her storytelling ability is just like, wow, it's incredible. But then the book that changed my entire life, I think, was 1000 Gifts by Anne Voskamp. And
Okay.
she talked about being grateful for 1,000 things over a year. And when I started becoming grateful for the small things, like a hot cup of coffee, the sunshine. I mean, I read that book in a time when I was buying my groceries from the dollar store in Los Angeles. Like, I
Mm.
spent all my money on school and going into my career, and I had nothing. And that concept has served me. So now I have a family and a career and all of the things, and that's what's grounded me. That book changed my entire life.
And what is it called?
1000 Gifts by Anne
Okay.
Voskamp.
Okay. All right. And then finally, where can listeners find you?
Mostly on Instagram. So it's at Jammie Baker, but it looks like Jammie. Jammie. It's at Jammie Baker _. That's where I pretty much like if I'm talking about something, you can find me somewhere else, I'll link it from Instagram. So that's where you'll find me the most.
All right, awesome. So I am going to put all your information in the show notes of today's episode. And I'm also going to grab that link for this, what was it, the body type guide or the
Yes,
style?
I have like 4 resources: mindset, body shape, a style quiz, something else. Oh, outfit formulas, putting them together. And
Oh,
that you
you
can
said
find that at,
jammiebaker.com/hello,
yep,
right? All
yep.
right, I'm going to go ahead and throw that link as well into the show notes. So
Awesome.
definitely, if you're listening to this and you're interested in learning more about Jammie, check it out. I want to thank you so much.
Thank
This has been
you.
very inspiring and informative interview.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much, Jammie.
I appreciate you having me. Sorry if I get a little too fired up. I get really passionate about things.
It's a good thing.